Hello, welcome to Loremaster's Lair. I'm your Loremaster, here today exploring the Pact World System now and for the last time. Today we'll look at the final planet to be a member, and which serves as a capital to Pact Worlds themselves, Absolom Station. Let's get started. Absolom Station is an interesting addition to Pact Worlds because it has no known past. At the end of the gap, the inhabitants woke up to find Golarion replaced with a space station of origins forgotten. Anarchy reigned for a while, until a malfunction in the system forced the gangs who had formed to work together or perish. It was here that many gang heads came together to form the first Syndic Guild, with the Prime Executive as its head. But the largest change came about with the advent of drift travel. Before then, the station was more or less a backwater. When it was found the core of the station was a drift beacon, and one of the strongest at that, it became the center of the galaxy. This led to massive growth in the station, but also led to a few attempts to conquer it. And when the Pact World System was officially formed, it was Absolom Station where the governing body was to meet. The station is a melting pot of different cultures, but the most numerous of that are the ancestries of Lost Golarion. And from them, it is the humans. Many species have drifted to locations to build new homes or to go to ancestral ones. Humans have rallied a strong cultural connection to the Lost Planet, and see the station as their inheritance. Of course, this has also led to many human supremacist whack jobs, but, well. Anyway, the government of Absolom Station is run by the Prime Executive, also known as the Prime X, a ruler who technically has free reign to do anything, only limited by terms and potential assassination. The Prime X is advised by the Syndic Guild, a council made up of representatives of the different neighborhoods, tracing themselves all the way back to the original gangs of the station, and sometimes current gangs. Finally, the station also hosts the Pact World government, as well as the organization known as the Starfinders. Absolom Station is traditionally broken down into 4 sections, each having its own neighborhoods and locations of interest. The first is the Arms, the spikes coming out the sides of the center, and it is mostly where ships dock. But there are also several neighborhoods which form here as well, mostly to accommodate off-world species. We have Little Akiton and their, business practices, we'll call it politely. We have the Fog Quarter, which simulates the atmosphere of the 2 gas giants. We have Puddles, which is specifically designed for aquatic creatures. And we have the Vest Quarters for those of the Viscarium, welcome in for peace, but still kept at arm's length in case the war decides to heat up eventually. Business and places of note include the Solarian Monastery, known as the Cosmonastery of the Empty Orbit. We have the Click-Clack Club, a town made for construct clientele, and the detective agency known as the Eyes Wide Agency. And last but not least is Fardock, a location with mysterious pull to somewhere, where all attempts to investigate have been shot down, literally. Next is the Ring, the various corridors between the Arms and the Eye. This is the residential middle class area. For neighborhoods, we have Olensa, the area where human supremacists have their gated community. The Free Markets, the largest commercial district. Drifters End, the area around the Starfinders Lore Spire complex, where those who have traveled a long way can feel like home. And the Congregation, the largest concentration of temples in the station. The most notable is the Golden Vault, the home of Abador's faith. But it's not the only place where the rich can feel at home. The Blue Eyes Tower is considered its own entity, the business within having no recompense to the outside world. And if you need some extra muscle, look no further than the Security Resource Pavilion, also known as the Merklurk, for all your henchman needs. We then find ourselves in the Eye, the great glass dome where the air is the freshest and the sun shines. This is the civic center of the station, as well as the most exclusive area, outside of maybe the human supremacist area. Neighborhoods here include Nerion Palisades, where the rich make their homes, Camanis, the largest entertainment district, and Parkside, where most prominent governmental buildings find themselves, including the Pact World headquarters known as the Planara. In the Eye, the greatest of schools like the Arcadaminium, the greatest theaters like the Heinz-Theatorium, as well as military schools like the Bastion, all find themselves in close proximity. This is also home to the sword-like cathedral, center of Iomedes worship. Finally is the Spike, the hundreds of floors set below the outer sectors. Here is where many of the inner workings of the station are, with many of them left unexplored. There's being dangerous this far down. Collectively known as the downside, those of the poor means find themselves in this area. The safest neighborhood is down low, but there are people who live in a series of engineering bays known as the Sparks, the pipe maze known as the Conduit, and the junkyard known as Spot Scrap. The area is also known for the Golden League affiliated Diamond Defense and Surplus, the endless hotel / nightclub / performance venue / government building known as the Rig House. But of course, the most important part of Spike is the legendary Starstone reactor itself, the power source of the station, and potentially the same Starstone as from Lost Golarion. Finally, we cannot talk on Absolom Station without the Armada. Some temporary, some permanent, these are the many ships that park in the station's atmosphere, especially since the station is a drift beacon, so it attracts a lot of them. These ships help protect the station from attacks, but most are just trying to get their business done well with only limited docking space. So there aren't total numbers of ships that make up the permanent parts, but they include the casino / drug den of the King Connie's Kibosh. I actually think that's Casbah. King Connie's Casbah, the Simar Commune full of clone assassins, and Valor's Heart, the trading ship of Iomedes Knights. Which brings us to the end of today's video, and the Pact World System. But of course, I'm not done examining planets, especially with Starfighter 2 coming out this year, sometime. They'd still know. So expect some examples which are near space in the future. But for next week, we still have bits of Golarion to finish up, so see you then.